Elon Musk makes himself the largest stakeholder in Twitter. Dare we hope that he will take over that company and wrest it away from Emperor Klaus, as in Schwab? Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is another Declaration of Truth from your host, Terry A. Hurlbut. In this video, we're going to look at how much of Twitter Elon Musk has bought, when he bought it, his famous poll of users on whether Twitter supports free speech, what bait Twitter just dangled at him to stop his gaining control, and stick with me to the end, where I will tell you how to build a grassroots movement to take over Twitter if Elon takes their bait. First, I want to shout out to the sponsor of this channel, which is Conservative News and Views, link in the description. And be sure to check out the awesome CNAV Store. Scroll down to the bottom for that link. Lots of good merchandise there. And coming soon, a bookshelf where you can buy books that explore conservative philosophy in depth. And today, yours truly became a published author with a title, Projecting the Liberal Globalist New World Order 400 Years into the Future and Showing a Rebellion Against It. Look for Matthew's Run, released today in ebook and paperback. All right, people, grab the popcorn because Trading Places meets Draft Day. Now, I'm not going to go into the history of Twitter as a company and platform. You all remember when Twitter discontinued Donald J. Trump's account. The reasons they gave for this act are absolutely specious, and Elon Musk said so at the time. Well, last month, Elon Musk ran a poll on Twitter itself, asking users whether they felt that Twitter rigidly adhered to the principle of freedom of speech. More than 70% of Twitter users voting in the poll said no. Then he observed, and I quote, "Twitter serves as the de facto public town square," unquote. He also asserted, and again I quote, "Failing to adhere to free speech principles fundamentally undermines democracy," close quote. He then asked his followers what someone should do about this. As it turned out, he already had bought 9.2% of Twitter on March the 14th. The news broke only yesterday and exploded across financial and conventional news media. Kiplingers wondered openly whether he intended a coup d'etat against the Twitter company. Many Twitter users, some with very high profiles, have called on Elon Musk to reform Twitter. Some, like Representative Lauren Boebert, Republican from Colorado, called for Elon to order Twitter to reinstate the Donald J. Trump account. And in fact, Elon Musk reached out to current CEO Parag Agrawal and said he would present some reform proposals. I'm not going to go into the criticism of Elon Musk for buying into the company and possibly agitating for reform. What do you expect? These are the Me Too's to the big dogs, strictly small potatoes. Now, what does all this mean in terms of money or anything else? In fact, Twitter's stock jumped 26% yesterday when the story broke. Last time I checked, it was trading at $53 a share and climbing. So Elon Musk has already made back what he spent. His 9.2% stake wins him a board seat. So when he spoke of working with Parag Agrawal on company reforms, he spoke from a position of some authority. And Mr. Agrawal knows this. He said, "Hello, Egon, welcome aboard." But then he said that having a critic of Twitter on the board would make it stronger in the long term. Do I think he's sincere? Not on your life. This is polite boilerplate. Translation, put up your dukes and let's get ready to rumble. If you want proof, read the Form 8K that Twitter filed. Elon gets his board seat all right, but he may not raise his stake to more than 14.9% of the company while he serves and for 90 days after he steps down from the board. If Elon accepts this offer, then he cannot pursue a hostile takeover. But a grassroots takeover might still be possible. It requires those of us with money to spend to buy altogether a total of 35.2% of the company. That means spending at least $12 billion or more. If maybe 2.5 million people spent about $5,300 each to buy 100 shares, that's the smallest even lot, and then gave Elon their proxies, he would have control. What next for Twitter? Only time will tell. At this moment, Elon has not yet accepted that board seat. If he does, then he has only his power of persuasion to sway other board members to reform Twitter, as it needs reforming. At least one official at the company has decamped, saying he refuses to work with Musk. Would Twitter lose users? Perhaps. But it might regain the users it has already lost, either because Twitter moderation threw them off the platform, or they left in disgust at the treatment of others. I wonder whether Elon could restore the tweets of certain famous accounts Twitter has recently suspended. Marjorie Taylor Greene owned one. So did a user who famously told Eric Swalwell that he was asking for civil war with his gun control proposal. Maybe you remember Swalwell's answer, and I quote, "Good luck with that. The government has nukes," close quote. To repeat a time-honored phrase from series television, stay tuned. Link in the description to the article, which contains the tweets from Elon and many others. I have another link to the online store, as I mentioned. And if you like what you've heard, you can like this video and subscribe to this channel. This is Terry A. Hurlbut, delivering another declaration of truth and reminding you to let the truth set you free. Goodbye now.